Oh, hello everyone. We're so excited to see you today. We're so grateful that you chose today to spend your morning with us, or maybe it's afternoon where you are. I am here in Texas, El Paso, Texas. It is in the hundreds, right? Not at the moment, but around 12, like to 4 o'clock, it is steaming hot. But we are so excited you're here. I am so glad to see you. We're just going to go ahead and get started. My name is Laura Adame, and I am married to an amazing husband. We're both teachers and educators. We love what we do. We have four beautiful children, and we are, raising them in the way they should go. And so, it is a blessing to be here. And so, we're here basically to, we're interested in sharing our wisdom and what we're learning, right, about spreading financial education. And so, why I'm here and why I'm so, passionate about not just educating in the classroom, right? But here with you in front of you today is because there's so many things that, as you know, I'm about to be 40 years old, and there's a lot of things that, I was not taught, or I was not raised with financial awareness. And so just this opportunity to come and share what we're doing, what we're trying to build. So, me and my husband, our kids are growing up. Everything is getting more expensive. And, our kids are wanting, my oldest is 15. She already wants to start driving. And I'm like, thinking like, oh my goodness, what does that look like? Insurance wise, just having another vehicle, right? And then we're thinking about college, right? We have, every 2 years we have a little one that's going to be graduating. So, I just wondered, like, man, do they want to go to college? Are they going to get scholarships? How are we going to provide for them? And, on our current salary right now, that's not going to be likely, right? Like, I don't know about y'all, but, my job as a teacher, I love what I do, but, it's not going to do more than just what we need right now. So, we also, something that kind of woke us up was we were also looking at just our financial future. Like, what were our goals, and when did we want to retire? And, having those conversations, it kind of like hit real. Like, and I was blessed that I was able to stay home for 10 years. So I kind of got a late start into the teaching profession. And so, I don't have, these years, where you get to feed into a TRS or a pension plan. And so when I looked at it and I was like, oh, okay, let me see, where we're at. It was nowhere near what I thought it was. And, it was also kind of embarrassing. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is it. Like, this is what I'm hoping on, like, for my future one day. And so it was kind of like a wake up call for us. Like, hey, this is the reality. And if I don't do something today or now, it's not going to happen, right? And so we kind of had to think, like, what else can we do? What else, how are we going to get this information? Like, what are we going to, how are we going to learn about this? And so we're so blessed. I'm here with my partner today, Liz, and, we just have been on this journey of kind of making sure that, we don't stay stuck where we are, but that we can look forward to a future. And so we're hoping that for every single family that's here today. So if you were invited, we're so grateful that you decided to come. And, we really just want to help you and help you to just, even if you're not sure, like, about everything we talk about today, just to start having those conversations. And so one beautiful thing, I'm going to start just jumping in here. Enough about myself. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. And so let me jump into my screen right here. Can you guys see the screen? Give me a thumbs up. Perfect. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so this is our company here. We are backed by Aegon, and this is a 180-year-old company. They are originated in the Netherlands, and then they were wanting to move into the United States, so into North America. So they basically acquired Transamerica, and so these two companies came together, creating a powerhouse, right, which led to World Financial Group. And so here with World Financial Group, we get to basically provide all type of investments, all type of insurance, right, and be the lead for this industry. So I'm going to jump into it, and why we're so excited to share today. So right here, having the strength and selection, right? I know a lot of us, we are a little bit spoiled where we can, go on Amazon and we can find everything we could possibly want, right? And even when we are looking for a car, or, maybe your favorite shampoo, whatever it is, right? You have the ability on the internet to research and do compare, right? Look for the best prices, for the best options. And that's what we do here. So we're kind of like the Amazon, right, of financial services. And so we're not stuck to one company. I don't have to pretend like it's the best. I can, talk to you about Nationwide if that's your goal. If you have goals that are, different than anybody else, it's great, because every family is completely unique, right? And so all of us want to do something different, right? Me and my husband, we want to travel the world one day, and nothing is going to stop us to reach our goal. And so the more we learn, the more we're set free, the more we can invest, and choose the right company that's going to give us the best options. So here we have Nationwide, right? You see that on commercials, right? A lot of us, we don't even know what Nationwide is, right? But yet we're still kind of sold on it, because we're like, oh my God, they seem nice because they say they're on my side, right? And so we definitely, have all these selections, and we want to find a match. We want to find a good fit for you and your family, and your goals. And so strength and selection, let me go ahead and transition here. So our mission here is no family left behind. And as an educator, that's our goal too. Like when I teach personally, I teach middle school, I teach 7th grade. They are wild. And so, but that's also a goal for us, right? When we teach our children, children in our community, like we don't want anyone to be left behind. And it's the same concept here, right? Because although money is not everything, it does help, right? It does help when you know how to play the game correctly. So when we look at, family A and family B, so it says 95% of middle America, which is including, myself too, is we have 250, we make 250 or less, which is true. We have a job, right, that we clock in and out of. Usually we don't know any options really, so we just get a 401k because our job, they offer it, and we get a term with our job. But as soon as we leave our job, what happens? This term policy is gone. Okay, we rent our home. We're not necessarily able to pay off our mortgage, right? And so that's what we get to do, right? And so we put money in the bank, which we don't really get to earn money on. We just do that because that's what we were told. That's what we were taught. I know my parents, unfortunately, they lived paycheck to paycheck too. And I didn't, like growing up, I didn't have these resources of like, well, what do I do? And so when I went to college, what do? We get a credit card, right? When we're stuck, or we jump into a loan right away. And so we get into debt. And so we really don't understand tax advantages. I know today or this weekend is tax-free weekend where we live, and it's crazy. Like people line up like to get their 1 or 2 shirts or whatever it is that they're wanting to get, right? So I can imagine, right? These, there's so many people that are just excited about saving, sales tax, but there's so many other ways that we are taxed. And, we are not, like, we don't get to learn about this. So we only learn like the basics. So there's no advisor, no planning. Okay. No one went out of their way to help my dad or to help my mom. And then the majority of the population. Okay, so this is where the majority of people stand. And so, what we want and our goal is to get into that 5% of wealthy America, which is making more than $250,000. We want to, get into that bracket so, we can do the things we want to do and have the freedom of time to do it, right? Be a business owner. So this gives us the opportunity to do that. We have indexed accounts where things are not getting lost and money is not getting taken away from us, right? All of us work so hard, and it's frustrating how much we don't get to enjoy. So jump into home ownership, right? So we can create that equity and build a family home, right? That can be passed down maybe. Diversify your profile. So if you do have maybe a 401k, 403b, okay, even an IRA, we can help you look at other accounts to just make sure it can be a little more diversified. So we also have something that we want everyone to know, which is permanent life insurance, right? It doesn't matter who you work for. This life insurance goes with you. So let's see. We have teaching people and helping them be debt free. Okay, nobody needs to carry that burden, especially our children, right? That's not freedom. That's not enjoyment, right? So maximizing tax advantages and then having a financial professional, because we want to be very strategic, right? With the time that we do have. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and, just a friendly reminder, right? Most people, we don't plan to fail. We just fail to plan, and time gets away from us, right? Our kids are growing older. They're gonna want to need help with a down payment on their house, or they're gonna need help, buying their first car or whatever it is, going to college, right? And if you don't have that in your savings account or in an investment, we're here to help you with that. We want to make sure that you're ready for every single thing that comes your way. So I'm going to go ahead and we are going to jump into the three kind of rules of money, right? So these are not taught to us. So we want to make sure, our biggest goal is to educate and share information, because once you know the truth sets you free, right? So you are able to learn these three rules of money, and you're able to apply them, okay? And again, whether it's to have this conversation with your spouse, to have this conversation with your family, right? And then we're also here, of course, to help guide you. So this is the compound interest, the rule of 72. So this was coined by Albert Einstein, right? Kind of important, but this holds true. So anything you divide by 72 will double. So, let's say you turned 29 years old. Your favorite uncle or aunt gave you $10,000. Okay, maybe you got $10,000 bonus at your job, right? Let's say you put that into a savings account, you get 1%. If you're lucky, most savings accounts will not even give you that. But congratulations, when you're 101, you'll have $20,000. Anybody excited about that? Maybe not, right? Maybe we could do other things with that, right? So if you look at the other percentages, so 72 divided by 4, 72 divided by 6%, right? It doubles every 12 years. And then 72 divided by 10. So, man, that is amazing. So by the time you're 65, this will have gone from $10,000 to $320,000, right? And, you know, like nobody is here saying, hey, let me teach you about these options. But we are, and we want to help you. We want to help you grow your money instead of some loan, right? Or um, some credit card company using this against you, right? So this is beautiful when it works for you, but when it works against you, it's not, right? It hurts. And so we don't want that. We want to help you to get out of that scenario and use these to your benefit, right? So let me go ahead and move to the next concept here. So we have options for your money, right? Now, getting into this idea of savings and investments in our future, right? So what is this first type of account? This is a fixed account, right? This is kind of like your savings account. And so it's a very small amount of growth, and it typically looks like a straight line, okay? And, you know, again, if you're lucky, you'll get 1%. It's usually 0.01%. So let's look at these other options for your money, right? Let's see. We have this chart, the variable account. So this is where you have your 401ks, you have your 403bs, your some of those accounts. Even some of our pensions are here, right? So my TRS, it's in the variable account. So this money that I'm hoping and praying for, that's waiting for me when I retire, right? It's in the variable market. So if the market crashes like it did in 2008, what's going to happen? What do I do, right? For some of us, you know, we're young enough to where we can wait for it to jump back up, right? But what if I'm ready to retire and I'm counting on this money to help me, right? So it's important to have these conversations, right? And to have, like it said, a variable, a diversified portfolio, so that, you know, you're not stuck in a position where you don't have options, okay? So most people think that there are only these two options, right? But there is a third one that we would love for you to know about, right? So what if I told you, let me see, so this sort of looks like, kind of like if you compare them, it looks like a hybrid of both. So you can see it kind of looks like a staircase, right? So this index account, it mimics the variable account, but it doesn't allow you to lose money, right? We never want to lose money, all right? Or be in the negative. Okay, so most people have no idea that these accounts exist, but they do. This is something that we go more in depth with. So if somebody, you know, invited you, please reach out to them so they can help you. These are, you know, this is something that, you know, can also help you with your critical and chronic illnesses. Like if you get into a bind or if you're a health issue, right? We're all like 1 or 2 phone calls away, right, from being in debt or bankrupt, right? So we want to learn about these things now before something happens, so that we can be protected and we can learn how to make better choices for our family and not put them in danger or at risk. Okay, me and Liz don't want to be the only people that can retire and live comfortably. Like there's so many people that we love and care for. And so we want to take all you guys with us. And so let's go ahead and go to the last concept here, which is reducing the impact of taxes, okay? So living in the United States, we're heavily taxed, right? I don't even have to explain that to you because you probably feel it like I do all the time, right? But people can actually choose when they're taxed. So I didn't know that, right? I'm sure some of you didn't know that, but you can choose, right? So right here, this first one is taxable income, right? So any interest on your savings, capital gains, CDs, all right? And then we have this middle column here, which is a tax deferred account. So again, this is where your pension is. It's probably where your 403b, your 401k is, right? Right in this middle column here, right? So the more you make, the more they take, right? And that is not nice, right? These plans look really good on paper. But you're putting all this money in, and you may not see that percentage come back to you, right? Um, and so it's so important when we look at these accounts, and we have to bring people back down to earth, like, oh wait, but it hasn't been taxed yet. So when you think you have $500,000 and then it hasn't been taxed, we have to tell them, no, it's more like 350,000. And that's a huge, that's a huge difference to me. So that's the difference between being able to do what I want and having to be, really tight. Okay. So, is there another way, right? Is there another option? And so we're here to teach you. Yes, there's a tax advantage accounts, right? Tax me never. We're not just when we're building, but also during distribution. So once you're ready to take your money out, you don't lose a single dime. Okay. And that's super important, right? So you definitely want to learn about these accounts, right? So every day, okay, we're talking to people, the benefits of helping them. And, me and Liz, although we're from Texas, from El Paso, like, the beautiful thing about Zoom, right? We can talk to anyone that's here on this call. And so we just wanted, we want the best for every single person that we meet. And we're trying, and we're, kind of encouraging everyone, like, hey, just have the conversation, like, please, because, it can be the difference between comfort, right, and discomfort. We've just seen so many examples of people being left behind, and because they didn't want to have these conversations now. So I do want, so although these are the three rules, right? So they're good and they're awesome in theory, right? So I'm a teacher, so I say this is good, right? I love talking about these rules, but Liz is going to actually dive into how you can apply these rules, right? And that's super important. We can't just talk about what sounds good. We need to do something, right? We need to do what's good. So I would love to introduce you to my beautiful partner. She is such an amazing woman of God, and she, I can't say enough about her. And I am so blessed to be able to build with her and grow with her, and can't wait to have you all join us. So here's Liz Dodd.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. It's so good to see you this early Saturday morning. Thank you for taking some time to be with us. Laura, you're amazing. Thank you so much for being my business partner and for giving me this opportunity to help people. We're educators, right? We're both in education, and we've been able to help little ones. Laura works with little ones. I work with high school kids, but we just can't wait to be able to help and work with adults and be able to help them and make sure that their futures are going to be prosperous. That's what God built us for, to be prosperous, to be abundant. And sometimes this world doesn't allow us to do that. And it's just about knowledge, and we can't wait to share all of this information with you. And how I got started was actually that a couple years ago, I had a health scare. I was diagnosed with a heart failure, and that was a huge wake-up call where, I'd been working and working for so many years, working hard. That's all we know what to do, right? Not even spending a lot of time with family because work comes first, and other priorities get in the way. And then to get hit with this, and I'm looking at my retirement, my financials, my debt, and I just wasn't happy with what I was going to end up leaving. I'm sorry, my husband and my two boys. And I was not happy with that. And I started reading books and watching videos and signing up to webinars and learning as much as I could, because they didn't teach us any of this in high school. I went to college and they didn't teach us this in college, how to take care of our money, how to build for wealth, how to leave a legacy for our kids, to be able to leave them something. So we are taking care of them even if we're not here anymore. I'm sorry. And that's when Laura and her wonderful husband Cesar came to me, showed me these rules of money, showed me, I tried to take a finance class in college and I had to even drop it because it just went, the professor just went over my head. I couldn't get it. And these rules of money, when they explained it to me, everything I've learned through this business, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense now. I understand it, and now I'm building for my sons. I'm building for my family. And I'm just so excited, and I can't wait to get this information out to our friends, our family, our community, because we all deserve to thrive. We all deserve to have the best in this world, to not just work and go home. We need to enjoy what God has provided to us in this world so we can get out there and travel and meet, spend time with our family, with our friends. And I could go on, but let me continue with the presentation. Let me share my screen so we can show you exactly what we do. And so let me get here. Is that good there, everybody? Yes, thank you, thank you. So what we do is provide a complimentary financial needs analysis to our families. And what we want to do is find out where they stand. Everybody's different, right? Everybody's in a different situation. Everybody has different needs and goals. And so we go through a financial needs analysis to find out how best we can help our families. And like Laura explained, that we work with almost 200 different companies to help us help you the best way possible, because you don't have the time to contact 200 different companies and find out what products and services they have. So we do that for you absolutely for free. And we do get compensated by those companies if we're able to find a service that works for you or someone that you love, and we're able to help them because we're that connector. I call it like connective leadership. We're able to connect people to what they need, to the best products that are going to help them become, better in their futures and in their lives. And so to be able to do that in all of these 6 different areas, and sometimes people just need 1 or 2, and that's fine. And sometimes people need help with all 6, and that's even better. We can't wait to be able to help people in all of these areas. First, we have cash flow, because it's so important to know what income is coming in and understanding what's going out, right? There were times that I was like, oh my gosh, I just got paid. Where did everything go? And it's really easy for that to happen. And so we have to be able to kind of take charge of our money and be able to make sure that every dollar has a job. Every dollar, this little dollar, you're going to go pay the mortgage, and this one, you're going to go pay my water bill. And then these little dollars left over, we're going to put you to work into a tax advantage account, like Laura mentioned, so you can grow and have more baby monies, right? Baby dollars, so that we can have something to look forward to put aside for traveling, for whatever we need. And then emergency funds, because we need to start building those emergency funds. Life happens, whether it's a flat tire and now we got to buy tires. They're not cheap, right? And you never know when it's going to happen. So we need to have those emergency funds. We have to plan for little things like that, but also some big things that happen as well. Last year around this time, actually, my house flooded. The entire first floor, and those emergencies happen, and we want to make sure that we and our families are prepared, better prepared, so it doesn't hurt as hard, so you're not as stressed. So if you have those emergency funds, you're like, okay, we can deal with this, right? What an amazing feeling to be able to do that. And a lot of times, though, many times we just whip out that credit card and we get into more debt. So to be able to build that emergency fund would just be amazing for so many people. And debt management, I was talking about looking at my debt and what I was leaving my boys. I didn't want to leave them debt. I didn't want to leave them that debt. So I started learning from this company how to pay that off, how to start working on that debt. And I went from several credit cards, I'm down to 2. So I'm almost there. But can you imagine that feeling of being debt free? I can't wait. And I can't wait for everyone I know to experience that feeling as well. Proper protection, proper protection is just so important because we work hard all of these years. I've been in education for almost 30 years. Hopefully can retire next year, God willing. And having that like thrown away because our families have to go through probate and we get taxed, right? Like Laura said, our taxes are our highest expense in our lifetime. They tax us when we get paid. They tax us when we spend money. They even tax us when we die, when we pass away. And our families have to pay these taxes now when we're gone. And to be able to protect them from that, to give them a little something to help them, to give them that peace of mind. We get that peace of mind, but to give them that peace of mind too, that they're going to be okay, that they're going to be able to move forward, whether we're there or not. To help them, we can still help them. We can still help them get through and have them enjoy the best life possible. And building wealth, like I said before, God put us here to enjoy every bit of what this world has to provide. And we work hard, we do, but we don't have the chance to be able to enjoy it sometimes. And so we want to build that wealth. We need to outpace inflation, because if our money's just sitting in a savings account at 0 point whatever percent, but inflation is at 3, 4, 5%, then we're actually losing money. We're not outpacing inflation. So we need to be able to build that wealth. And then preserving wealth, reducing that taxation so that when that time comes, when we're not here any longer, our family gets the house tax-free, gets our investments and accounts tax-free. That is just the ultimate gift that we can give to our children, to our spouses, to our family. And what a wonderful feeling to be able to go through life without having to worry about that, So when that time comes, your family is going to be okay. So those are all the different things that we do. And like Laura said, it's absolutely important. You've learned all of these rules of money. But the most important thing to do is to now put it into action. And so reach out to the person that invited you to the session today. But I also want to talk about our platform that allows us to be able to do this, that allows us to be able to help families in the ways that we do. And if anyone is looking into maybe a second income, income or increasing our cash flow, right? This is the way to do it, because the timing is everything. And right now, our baby boomers, our baby boomer generation, they help set us up for this time right now. And so when they were born and coming up, all of these different companies started popping up that had to come up to take care of our baby boomers. So all of these baby boomers are coming in. They needed baby food, right? So what company comes to mind when you think about baby food? That's Gerber, right? Gerber is still going strong. They came up to take care of our babies. And then they started growing up, started walking. They needed toys to keep them busy. So Barbie comes in, G.I. Joe, Mr. Potato Head, all of those awesome toys. And they're still going strong, even for our kids today. And now they're teenagers, and now they're away from baby food, right? We still need to feed them a lot more, especially those boys can really eat. So fast food came in. Who came in at that time? McDonald's, still going strong, and the fast food just grew significantly. And then when they started driving, oh my gosh, that just blew up with all of the different cars, the fancy, great cars that came out at that time. But the biggest boom yet was in real estate, because now they're getting married, now they're having families, now they needed homes. And the real estate industry at that time just blew up. And now our baby boomers are getting ready to retire. It's called that silver wave. I'm even part of that silver wave. If I'm eligible to retire next year, you can see it in my silver hair, silver highlights, I call them. But these people are going to start getting ready to retire. And many of them are agents just like us. And we need more people with good hearts and good intentions that want to help people, to help these baby boomers and everyone that we know get ready for retirement, have an awesome retirement, be able to not worry about, the money running out or outliving their funds, because sometimes that's happening now. We're living longer, right? And so it's so important to know that timing definitely is everything. And our agents, this is how compensation works. All the services that we provide are absolutely complimentary to our clients, to our families that we help. If we're able to connect them to a company like we talked about earlier, then that company compensates the agents, okay, because we're able to connect them to a service, to a product. The companies compensate us. And so with 0 to 3 years of experience at tier 1 as an associate, average earnings can run up to $72,000. That's even part-time. If you only have 5 hours to give a week, if you only have 15, 20 hours to give a week, it really all depends on how many families you can help. And so we see it all the time in our industry and our company, that we have agents that are within a year making $250,000, $500,000, making more than many presidents of major companies are making, just by being able to help our families secure their futures. And but we also know how to have fun, because we always talk about, right? We need to be able to enjoy this life that we have. We have team building events. We go to Vegas for a convention that we just got back from in July. Almost 30,000 agents out there that help families throughout the United States and Canada. We get together to lift each other up. It's so motivational and so inspiring to get all of these people with good hearts and good intentions together that are just gonna make such a huge difference in people's lives and in this world. And so we get to travel together, we get to have fun together. Where Laura and I are here in Texas, in El Paso, trying to help our families, and we get together as often as we can. We also have an end of year event in Palm Springs, California. I've never been there before, and it's just gorgeous out there. And to be able to, again, celebrate one another, motivate one another. I've never been in an industry where you are built up so much. This is your own business that you're building, but you're not alone. And we have so many people, all of these beautiful people, beautiful souls that just want the best for all of us and for all of the families that we help. So what are the next steps? If you are completely 100% satisfied with the work that you do, we can still provide a complimentary financial needs analysis to see how we can better help you, better help get you to your goals and live that dream life that we deserve to live. If you are interested, though, in helping other families, but you don't have the time to do it, we do have a referral option where you refer people to us that you want us to help and support, and we do all the work. Laura and I will get together with everyone, and whoever invited you to this meeting, of course, reach out to them, refer people to them, to those agents, and we share that commission 50%, half and half, just for that referral. Or if you'd like to start part-time, 10, 15 hours a week, start up your own business. Having your own business, different from a typical job where you get a W-2, you get a 1099, and also gives you several benefits for being able to claim, business expenses and things like that. And that definitely helped my husband and I this past year, where we were having to pay, so much in federal taxes. It lessened our tax debt by over $2,000 just for having this business. So that alone is a huge help. And then, of course, eventually, hopefully be able to go full time, just like I plan to, hopefully in a year, if not less, when I can retire. And so that's it for our presentation. Just know that we are so grateful that you took the time to join us today. We're so happy to see you this morning. I won't take up any more of your weekend. Go enjoy your Saturday and Sunday with your family and friends. But we're here if you have any questions, and reach out to your agent, again, that referred you to this meeting, and start having that conversation, because better late than never. It's a very important conversation to start having. Okay, thanks everybody.